Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, how are you? Hope you guys are all doing well. Eventual joiners of the stream. Nobody in here yet. We're only 13 seconds in, but I have a feeling a couple of viewers are just around the corner. At least I hope so. It's not so much a feeling as it is a desperate hope that I can get some people in here and we can have a nice talk about some things. That would be cool. Oh, see somebody just hopped in. Hello, thank you very much for joining. Ooh, 3 people. Hello to all 3 of you. Hope you guys are doing well. We have our first chat message from a Mr. Sanjay Krishnan. Hello, Mr. Krishnan. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Really, really, really appreciate it. Oh, somebody already thumbs up. Wow, I'm gonna try that one again. Somebody already gave a thumbs up to the stream. Thank you very much. We have another message from Isria Elkanaisi. It's my best attempt at the pronunciation of your name. Hello, how are you? Another message from Siddhant Singh Nagai. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but nonetheless, thank you so much for joining. How are you guys? So to answer your question, I'm doing pretty well. Just really busy. Had kind of a bombshell drop on me and my family this week. Nothing bad. It's just something that was kind of a surprise that I wasn't quite expecting. It wasn't on my radar, and now that it is, it's like, oh my goodness. But I'd like to give give people the opportunity to come in here, give it some time before before I start spilling my guts about this stuff. I just want a few more people to join, or at least to see if a few more people will join before I start talking about anything super important. Siddhant says, "What happened, dude?" Okay. I'll just go ahead and talk about it now. So, unfortunately, I don't have the pictures with me. I'll Ogden Ristich says hello, says hi, hello. Ogden, very nice to see you in here. Thank you for joining. So yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you guys what happened. I don't have the pictures in here. I should have brought them here with me, but basically, my wife went in for her last ultrasound because we're getting pretty late into the pregnancy. Oh, Maine Warings 3 says hello from Wales. Hello, right back at you from the USA. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. So my wife goes in for an ultrasound, and everything's looking pretty good. The baby, for those of you who don't know, I have my second daughter coming soon, on the way, and the baby head has turned around. Her head is now facing down where it should be. At her last ultrasound, the baby was breech, which means she was positioned feet down, head up, which is not the way it's supposed to be for for a good, easy, safe birth. So they said, okay, last ultrasound, they said, okay, the baby's breech, but not to worry, there's still plenty of time for her to turn around. So that has happened. The baby has turned around. She's now in the proper position to sort of enter the birth canal, or to pass through the birth canal. So that's good. As far as weight and everything, she's pretty average in terms of weight. Nothing too alarming there. So all signs are pointing to a vaginal birth rather than a cesarean section, which is good. I mean, C-sections do have some advantages, but usually the recovery time from a cesarean section is a lot longer. It just does a lot more damage to a woman's system than a natural or vaginal birth. So everything's looking pretty good. However, the bombshell that was dropped on us was that apparently my wife has this certain condition. I'm not going to disclose the name of the condition because I don't want to, just leak a bunch of medical private information. But apparently, pregnant women who have this condition, it is common practice for them to be induced into labor at 39 weeks instead of waiting the full 40 weeks or waiting 40 plus 1 or like 41 weeks. I think my first daughter was born at 41 weeks. My wife was induced. For those of you who don't know what that means, induction is the process of where they inject a chemical into the woman's bloodstream called pitocin, and that chemical triggers and induces labor. So that's what happened with my first daughter. We had an appointment. We showed up at the hospital at midnight. for our appointment, and then by 6 p.m., 6:12 I think is what the time was, 6:12 p.m. the next evening, my daughter was born, and it went really well. So the bombshell that we heard was that, you know, we were originally thinking that the due date was going to be October 7th, right? October 7th, that was the due date that we were originally told. And, you know, due dates are very approximate. They're not very concrete at all. I think it's only like 13% of babies are actually born on their due date. But, you know, in general, from what we've read, the second child is about the same as the first. Like it's usually common for the second child to have a similar sort of labor and delivery as the first. So we were expecting, you know, on time or late. So we were expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of October 7th as the birthday, but they're actually going to be inducing her at 39 weeks, which pushes it back to, or pulls it back to October 1st. So we were thinking we had this whole extra week to get ready. And, you know, because we have like a mountain of things on our to-do list. We have so much to do around the house. I'm still not finished with my freaking shower. The tile's all installed and everything, but I still have to like clean out the grout lines. I have to grout it. I have to seal the grout. I have to install the shower. I have to order the shower door. I don't even have a shower door yet. I have to order it. I have to get it. I have to install it. I mean, just so much stuff to do. And that's just a couple of things. I mean, we're going to do some like deep cleaning, and we have some items on our baby registry that we still don't have that we would like. By the way, if any of y'all want to contribute to the baby registry, we have an active baby registry on Amazon. If you go through my videos, there is a video called My Baby Registry. If you're interested, by no means do I expect anybody to feel obligated to contribute to it. Totally cool if you don't want to, or you can't afford it or whatever. But I'm just saying, some people, you know, have asked me in the past, how can I contribute? How can I donate to your channel? I don't really like asking for money a whole lot in general, but if you were feeling charitable, if you wanted to contribute to the channel and all the hard work that's gone into my videos, that would be your opportunity to do it if you want. But obviously, you know, no worries if you can't or if you don't want to. But anyway, so now that I've made that pitch, yeah, so we, you know, you would think like, oh, 1 week wouldn't be that big of a deal, but like for us, a week is huge because our to-do list just has so many items on it. So we're really trying to like scramble to get everything done before the baby arrives. And that's like best case scenario. Like October 1st is best case scenario. So it might even be earlier than that. Okay, so Yash asks, why does your car have a mirror in the back seat? Well, it's so that if I have an infant car seat back here, I can look at my rear view mirror, which is up here, and using the combination of my rear view mirror and that mirror back there, I can see my daughter. I can see, you know, what she's doing. I can see her facial expression. I can see if she's asleep. I can see if she's, you know, heaven forbid, if she's choking on something, stuff like that. So that's why there's a mirror back there. It's for children. It's for infants and toddlers. I don't spend a lot of time transporting my daughter around in this car. My wife drives a Toyota Sienna, which is like a minivan with a V6 engine. It's a nice van. I really like driving that thing. It's very comfortable, very spacious. That's usually what we drive the kids around in, or what we drive my daughter around in. And then obviously when my second daughter is born, it'll be the kids. That's what we drive the kids around in. But, you know, her car is 2008. So it's pretty old. Occasionally it has problems. Recently it had a problem with the shift cable assembly. I couldn't get it out of neutral. So even if like the shifter was technically like in park, if it looked like it was in park, it wasn't actually in park. And so I couldn't actually stop the car. I had to like, I had to like put a brick behind the tires to keep the car from rolling anytime that I didn't have my foot on the brake. So that was a challenge. So we had to get it towed. And when we got it towed, we moved the car seat to my car so we could drive her again. Sidant says, do you work in college? Nope, I don't work in college. I work for a private company. Ibrahim says, unfortunately, you have lost 908 subscribers in 2 months. Yeah, I think it's on the rise, though. I mean, in the last 28 days, I think I've gained like 236 or something like that. So, yeah, that's what happens. If you are very unproductive, like I have been, if you go a very, very long time without uploading, and then all of a sudden you start uploading again, people who are subscribed to you who no longer want to be subscribed to you because either their tastes have shifted, or they no longer need chemistry, like they just subscribed so that they could get help with chemistry, and now they're done with chemistry and they can move on. So basically, like when you upload a video after being inactive for a really, really long time, your subscribers who no longer want to be subscribers are sort of reminded that that they're still subscribed to you. They're like, hey, why am I still subscribed to this guy? And then they unsubscribe. So it's actually very, very common. So that's not really super cause for concern. CRM says, Ben, what's going on? Not much, man. I'm about 3 weeks out, less than 3 weeks out from the birth of my second daughter. It's really, really exciting, but it's also really, it's like, it's crunch time, man. We got a bunch of stuff to do. The fact that I'm even doing a live stream right now is highly irresponsible. I should be like begging out items on the to-do list, but I'm not. Main Wearings 3 says, just get self-sealing grout. Stop panicking. Everything is going to go well. If you have concerns on the day, just go for the cesarean. The midwife will have much experience, and there will be a doc. Yeah, we're not going with a midwife. We use a private obstetrician who will be there. Also, as far as the self-sealing grout goes, from what I've heard, I've talked to some guys at work like who do maintenance and stuff like that. They say that even if you get the self-sealing stuff, which is what I have the self-sealing grout, they still say that it's a good idea to apply the sealant to it anyway. So I'll see what happens on that. Sedant says, oh, nice that you work in a private company. Hope everything works well. Yeah, so far so good. CRM says, congrats. You'll get it, homeboy. Yeah, and also, Main Wearings, to your point, I wouldn't say that I'm panicking. It's just kind of like like seeing her face, on those ultrasound images. It's like, wow, like, because, Yash says, congratulations. We wish you a good family life. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Because I think, for an expectant parent, I think especially for an expectant father, like, because the mother has the constant reminder inside of her body, that this baby is getting bigger and it's starting to kick around and things like that. So she's kind of reminded of it every day. But for me, it's a little abstract. It's like, it just takes a while to sort of really sink in. And it's sort of like this gradient where, okay, you get the news that you're pregnant, like, okay, it still hasn't sunken in yet, then you see the wife starting to show a little bit, and then it starts to sink in a little bit more, and then your wife starts to show a lot, and it's like, okay, it's sinking in even more. And then your wife, takes your hand up to her belly and you can feel it, and it's like, oh, wow, now it's sinking in a lot more. And so it kind of goes in stages where it just starts to become more and more real and less abstract. But anyway, but yeah, I just yesterday, I just experienced one of those sort of leaps where it just got that much more real. And it's like, man, this is this is really happening. So, but yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm panicking. I think we got it under control. Everything's going to be fine. But it is, it's kind of a wake-up call. It's like, oh boy, you know what I mean? So Abraham says, is it okay if we call you our Lord and Savior here and on the Discord? I can't stop you. You can call me whatever you want. I mean, that's fine with me. I'm not one to censor speech or anything like that. Say whatever's on your mind. I do appreciate the flattery. I don't really consider myself a Lord and Savior. I just consider myself a dude who is, I'm just a chemistry enthusiast, and I also happen to be a professional chemist. But if you want to call me, you can call me whatever you want. I don't mind. Go for it. Mashadi Begum, or Begum, I'm sorry, I know I'm terrible pronouncing these names, sent me 3 upside down smiley faces. I'm assuming that's good. So thank you for those 3 upside down smiley faces. Yash is asking Ibrahim where he's from, and he's answering Gamerland. He says he means country. Okay, you guys are having your own little conversation here on my chat, which is cool. Y'all can have whatever conversations you want on here. Meanwhile, I am going to throw her in gear and drive over to McDonald's and get a Coca-Cola like I did. Like I think it was 2 streams ago. I got a Coke from McDonald's. I don't know, man. I just have a hankering, dude. Mashadi says, "Oh, I love chemistry too. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Chemistry is. I don't know. I don't know what it is about chemistry. I don't know why I have such a fondness for chemistry and such a like repulsion toward other sciences like physics. Like again, like don't get me wrong. Like physics is great and it's important, and there are some cool like things that happen with physics. Like if you go on Amazon, you can shop for like all these cool physics-based toys like Newton's cradles and Euler's discs and gyroscopes and things like that. Like I love physics in that regard, but in terms of like studying it as a subject in college, I don't know. I didn't have a great experience with it, so I kind of got a bitter taste in my mouth. Achu says, "Hi, I'm finally early. How's it going?" Going well, Achu. I'll basically just give you the rundown. So I'm about 3 weeks out, a little less than 3 weeks out. I thought it was going to be 4 weeks, but it turns out it's only 3 weeks until my second daughter is born. And I wouldn't say I'm panicking, but I would say that it's like, wow, like we have a bunch of stuff we have to do. We are not ready. We need to get ready. We have a to-do list, so all we have to do is just kind of bang out the items on the list. But you know, and I'm sure any parent here of a toddler can back me up on this. It's hard to get stuff done around the house with a toddler. You know, they're very needy. They want your attention. I mean, you know, okay, like when they're napping, you can get a lot of stuff done. But man, when they're awake, like I'll tell you this, like I was trying to install this, they call it a door sweep. It's like this little metal plate that goes on the bottom of the door, and it has like a little rubber thing on it that like forms a like a seal with the door threshold at the bottom of the door jamb. I was trying to install one of those, so I had like my power drill and my screwdriver and my level and this and that, and my daughter comes up and just sits on my lap. And I knew that if I moved her away, she was gonna like throw a hissy fit. So I just let her sit there. I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait till she gets tired of this, and then I'll get back to installing the door sweep. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, you have to manage your expectations of how much around the house you can get done when you have a toddler, because you know, it's they require a lot of attention. They really do. Yash says, also, Ben, which uni did you study from? I attended the University of Central Florida, which is in Orlando, Florida. That's where I went to school. Mashadi Begum says, what's your favorite part of chemistry? I would say, you mean like what subtopic, like between like, you know, organic or physical or inorganic or biochem or analytical? I would say organic. I like me some organic chem, which is great because that's a lot of the work that I do professionally is using like organic lab techniques and doing a lot of organic synthesis and stuff like that. So I love it, man. It's good times. Let's see. Kaylee says, hello. Ho, Kaylee, what's up? I remember you. Hey, thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate it. I hope you are doing well. I think I remember recently, you know, we were talking about, you know, sort of like trying to figure out like what to do in life and things like that. So I think that was you. So I really, really hope everything's going well for you. And thank you so much for your continued support. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. Thanks. Achu says, when you know chemistry, you can play Minecraft in real life. Oh, you mean like in terms of like creating things and stuff like that? Yeah. You know, I never got into the whole Minecraft thing. Like, I think I understand the appeal of it, like kind of being able to like build whatever you want. I just don't like the pixelated blocky graphics. It's hard for me to get past that, especially when there's games like Little Big Planet out there, where like Little Big Planet, I think a lot of people like, I think that's like a really underrated game, man. Like if you get on Little Big Planet and you look up like some of the user generated content, like some of the levels that just, you know, people who love the game have created, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like you can tell, like a lot of these people who are creating these levels study like computer science, because they're like building these like complex machines with all these, you know, logic gates and all this crazy stuff in it that, I mean, it's just amazing. So yeah, I would say Little Big Planet over Minecraft all day. I don't have really any experience playing Minecraft, so maybe it's not a fair comparison in my mind, but yeah, I just can't really get past the graphics. Kaylee says, no problem. I love doing these live streams, or I love these live streams. I'm doing my best to show up, continuously drowning in homework now, school, and full swing. 18 credit hours is kicking my butt. Oh man, 18 credit hours. Wow. So what is that like? Is that like 6 3-hour classes? That's crazy. That's like, oh man, that's so much. I feel for you. I took 15 credit hours one time, and that was too much for me. I just, I couldn't keep up with that. I mean, I managed to get through it, but like I didn't really get like as much out of the classes as perhaps I should have, because I just didn't have enough time to devote to like any one individual class. Like I couldn't give any one individual class like the attention that it deserved. So man, I definitely feel for you. That's tough. Ibrahim says, nice, I'll check it out. What's the name of that game again? It's called Little Big Planet. It's a PlayStation exclusive. If you actually look at my videos, you can see what it looks like. I have a video. It's called Chem Quiz, CHEMQUIZ, My Little Big Planet level, and it's a Little Big Planet level that I created. So if you look up that YouTube video, it's called Chem Quiz, My Little Big Planet level. You can see it's like a walkthrough. Like I'm basically like talking the viewer through the level. I thought it was pretty cool. It was an exercise in in procrastination. That's for sure. I would just, instead of studying, if I was burnt out on studying, I would just work on building my Little Big Planet level for a while. It was definitely a time sink, very, very time consuming to make those levels, because the options that they give you, I mean, it's insane. Like you can build anything. But yeah, great game. Little Big Planet is awesome. Achu says, have you ever been to Five Guys? It's way better than McDonald's. Yes, I have. It's also much more expensive than McDonald's. And besides, all I'm doing is I'm going to McDonald's to get a Coke. And McDonald's has the best, I think I've talked about this in a previous live stream. So for those of you who have watched this or heard me talking about this before, I apologize for being repetitive, but McDonald's has like the best fountain Coke. And the reason why, I never knew why McDonald's Coke tastes better or different than everybody else's Coke. And then somebody at work, not at my current job, but at my last job, told me, like, I actually know why McDonald's has the best Coke. And I'm like, dude, why? Like, I've never, tell me. Apparently, Coca-Cola recommends that the syrups, so like by syrup, I'm talking the concentrate that you mix with the carbonated water to produce the soda in the soda fountain. Those syrups, according to Coca-Cola, are recommended to be transported at like a very, very specific temperature range. You can't just leave them, well, you can, but Coca-Cola does not recommend their syrups to be transported under ambient temperatures. And everybody except for McDonald's ignores this. McDonald's, I think it's probably because economies of scale. McDonald's is such a big and such a profitable company with all this money that they can afford to pay the extra shipping costs to transport the Coca-Cola syrup at the recommended temperature. They keep it in a refrigerated truck or something like that. And because the Coca-Cola syrup never falls out of that temperature range, it tastes the way that Coca-Cola, the company, intended it to taste. So that's why McDonald's, at least that's what I'm told. Maybe the guy who told me that's full of shit. I don't think so. He didn't seem like a compulsive liar or anything, but it makes sense. I mean, it's really the only reason why I could think of that Coca-Cola would taste different at McDonald's than everywhere else. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So anyway, I'm just getting a Coke. So if I was getting a burger and I was and money was no object, and I wanted to get the best burger possible, I wouldn't even do Five Guys. There's actually a place in my hometown called well, not my hometown, but where I'm living now, there's a place called Burger Bar. And oh man, it's got really good burgers. They can really flip up a good burger. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to tell you guys about. I don't know if hang on, let me read some of the chat here. Elmer's Mind Games says, good afternoon, chaps. What's up, Elmer's Mind Games? Formerly, what was your name before? Unnamed person, or I can't remember your old name, something clever like that. But Kaylee says, I've been doing the no sleep schedule and 5 or 6 hour blocks of studying per class. I just have 2 classes I'm struggling with. Yeah, I respect the grind. Big salute to you. Kaylee says, McDonald's Coke does hit differently. Yeah, yeah, and I think it's better too. Kai says their Sprite is literally acid. Don't try it. LOL. Well, technically, all soda is acid. It's acidic. It has a pH less than 7. But Abraham says this guy's been talking about food for 5 minutes straight. Epic. Well, make that 6 minutes and counting, because guess what? I just ordered. Actually, my wife ordered it. She deserves the credit for doing the research and ordering it. We ordered a new grill, and it's a nice one. It's a Weber grill. It's supposed to be delivered today. I'm going to build it this weekend. I'm going to pick up a couple like New York strips or something and throw them on my new grill and break it in just right. I have been living without a grill up here in South Carolina for like over a year now, which is despicable because I love grilling. It's my favorite method of preparing food, and I am just so psyched to get back to the grill. Yeah, there's actually a photo I remember taking. It was like a selfie I took with my daughter. She was in her little pouch in front of me, this little baby carrier thing called the Ergo Baby, and my grill was in the background, and I captioned it like, you know, New York steaks with my grilling partner or something like that. New York strips with my grilling partner. Which obviously, like if you have a baby strapped in front of you and you have like open flames, you know, in front of you, you have to be really, really careful. I don't think the baby books would recommend that. But of course I was careful and my baby didn't get burned. Oh, I remember another thing from that night. Oh my God. Actually, no, this is a separate occasion, but I'll talk to you about this too. So one night, my wife was coming home, traveling out of town, and she was coming home and she was going to be late. And so it was just me and my daughter and my dog. And the grocery store had bone-in ribeyes on sale, which is like a really, really good steak for those of you who don't know. If you don't know, shame on you. You should know, because bone-in ribeye is an amazing steak. I think it was like buy one, get one free bone-in ribeyes, which is like a really rare sale. They don't do that very often, right? So I pick up these ribeye steaks. They're gorgeous. And I throw them on the grill. I prepare this whole dinner. I prepare a plate for me. I prepare a plate for my wife. And I'm letting my daughter sort of eat off of my plate, and she's loving it. We're having steak. It's great. And then after dinner, I go into the nursery to change my daughter's diaper. And, you know, by this time, like, I mean, I've been a pro at changing diapers for a long time. I mean, I can bang it out super quick. Like the baby powder and everything, like I can change a diaper like nothing, right? But anyway, in the, you know, maybe 3 minutes tops that it took to change my daughter's diaper. Oops, I need to get back in this lane. Come on, there we go. In about the 3 minutes that it took to change my daughter's diaper, I come back to the dinner table and the steak is gone. Like the green beans are still on the plate, the freaking rice is still on the plate, and the bone-in ribeye that I was so excited to have greeting my wife when she got home from this long trip was gone. And I turn around and I look over, and all I see is my dog with half of the bone from the steak hanging out of his mouth. Like he had eaten that steak down to the bone in like maybe a minute. It was, oh my God, it was probably the angriest I have ever been at my dog. I mean, my dog's done some aggravating, frustrating shit, but this, eating that steak, oh man. And you know, like I talked about this on Facebook. Hang on, I'm gonna order my Coke. Just give me a second here. Thank you for staying with me, guys. Appreciate it. Definitely going to continue the story in a second, as soon as I get done ordering my Coke. Just waiting. I'm going to read some chat. Kai says, oh my God. Oh wait, let me read previous message. Mashadi says, wish me good luck going to write NEET on September 13th. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like some big exam. Good luck with that. I wish you Godspeed in crushing it. Good for you. Kai says, "Oh my God, did your wife buy that excuse, or she thought you blamed the dog?" No, she believed me. It was the truth. And
Welcome to McDonald's.
hi, may I please order a large Coke, and that's it?
That's going to be 110 and thank you.
Thank you. Oh. Okay, so anyway, yeah, my wife believed me. My wife believed me that the dog actually ate the steak, and I didn't just like drop it or eat it or and just blamed it on the dog, because my dog, he's got kind of a history of misbehavior. Don't get me wrong, we wouldn't have him if we didn't love him. If we didn't love him, we would have gotten rid of his ass a long time ago. But he does have some mischievous behavior. Overall, like, he's a sweet dog. He's never attacked anybody. He's never been aggressive or anything like that. And the other thing too about my dog is he's a black lab golden retriever mix, which means that these are two breeds that require a lot of exercise every day. And it's really, really hard, especially with kids, it's really, really hard to give the dog the exercise that he needs. And when he does have exercise, when I take him to the dog park and I play fetch with him and he chases his tennis ball like 50 or 100 times, and he's out of breath and he's drinking a bunch of water and slobbering everywhere, when he's really, really tired, that's, it's the old saying, right? A tired dog is a good dog. I mean, that is so true, especially of my dog. So, when he acts out, when he misbehaves, it's hard to put the blame entirely on him, because most of the time, I would say like 9 times out of 10, maybe even 99 times out of 100, he misbehaves on a day in which we were too busy, or we didn't take the time to exercise him. So in the end, it's really our responsibility. And I posted about this when it happened. I was posting about the fact that, like, I was so angry with him that I like wanted to light him on fire and just kick him across the room. It was hyperbole. I didn't really want to do those things, but I was really angry with him though. But and people were chiming in. Like, I posted about it on my personal Facebook, and people were chiming in like, he's a dog. There's a piece of meat, a delicious piece of meat there. How could you not expect him to get it? I mean, come on, he's just being a dog. And I'm like, no. He knows the rules. He knows that he wasn't supposed to do that. And oftentimes, if you have like a well-behaved, well-trained animal, like, even if it's something really tempting like that, even if they're in a room and nobody's there, like, a dog can still have the self-control not to violate the rule. So yeah, the whole he's just a dog, what was he supposed to do thing is bullshit. I don't buy that at all. But at least that's my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think. But Elmer's Mind Game says, your storytelling skills are great. I'm more of an observational humor kind of guy, so respect. Yeah, it takes different strokes to move the world, man. Maybe that's what I should do. I should just upload videos just talking about like stories and shit. That'd be cool. Or I don't know, maybe if this live stream lends itself to taking a clip out of it and making a YouTube video out of it, maybe I'll do that. But that's one thing I've kind of been experimenting with lately a little bit is doing like stream highlights, like taking a clip from my live stream and uploading it. Those have actually, like, in terms of like views, like, those have actually been doing pretty well. Like the last one I uploaded, which was about like, teachers, not wanting to go back to work, even though teachers all the time say that they would do anything for their kids. But then, when they're faced with a virus in which a tiny fraction of people die or get irreversibly harmed from it, now they're all of a sudden, oh, I can't go back. So I had a video about that, and that got like, I'm not going to say a lot of views, because none of my videos get a lot of views. I have a small audience at this point. But like, relative to my other videos, it got a lot of views. And then I had another video about how, why I dislike academia, and that did well, views wise, relatively. I'm going to pay for my drink real quick.
You got a large Coke?
Yes, ma'am.
10.
Here you go.
Thank you.
But yeah, it seems like the stream highlight clips have been doing pretty good. Let me know what you guys think.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You do the same. But anyway, The other thing that I wanted to ask you guys about, I don't know if you had a chance to see my latest video. It dropped on Sunday. It was called Bond Energy. So as the title of the video says, it's all about the concept of bond energy. And I would love your thoughts on it. I would love your opinion on it. I got some good comments from a few people. So Ibrahim says, well, I need to go. Bye. All right, man. Take care. Thanks for being in here. I really appreciate you joining us. Kai says, enjoyed the Bond Energy video. Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I would hope that if you didn't enjoy it, or if something sucked about it, or if something that could be improved, that you would let me know. Because I appreciate the criticism. I really do. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, I got my Coke. All right. I think I'm just going to post up here in the McDonald's parking lot for a little while, talk to you guys, and then after a little while, I'm going to head home because in my neighborhood, I don't think the cell reception is like that great. So like my 4G is not that good. So like my live stream kind of has like high, like latency, and it kind of cuts out and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna post up here and talk to you guys. That'd be cool. Let's bring up the chat. Kaylee says, I will watch and then post in the Discord or comment on the video. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I really do appreciate people who, hit the like button and write comments. Not just for my own ego necessarily, but because, things like likes and comments and things like that will actually sort of boost your video algorithmically. They will enhance the discoverability of the video. Videos that get more comments and more likes and this and that, they show up higher in search results. They impress on more people. You get more impressions from videos that get more engagements. So that's why, that's why all the YouTubers are telling you to hit the like button and, hit the bell and this and that. It's because, when videos have a lot of those, they, you have more reach. They're shown to more people by the algorithm. So, so it matters. It really does matter. So I wish it kind of didn't. I wish I could just, talk about chemistry and this and that, but sometimes you have to sort of game the system, game the algorithm as much as you can, as annoying as it might be. And for those of you who do find it annoying, I sincerely apologize. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Oh, nothing quite like a McDonald's Coke, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's another thing going on in my world that I want to let you guys in on. So my older brother, so I have two brothers, one older and one younger. I'm the middleman, middle child, right? My older brother is getting married at the end of the year. December 27th, I think, is his wedding day. And I just booked, along with his best man, a good friend of his, I just booked a trip for the three of us to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, baby. Vegas. Oh, I am so excited. I think it's going to be great. We're going to Vegas on the weekend of the Friday, December 11th. We're going to fly out. On Friday the 11th. I think we're going to arrive in Vegas around 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then we'll spend the whole day of the 12th in Vegas, and then we're gonna fly back on Sunday, the 13th. So yeah, bachelor party in Vegas. Kai's asking, bachelor party in Vegas? Yep, that's what we're doing. We're doing Vegas for his bachelor party, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Main Waring says, our McDonald's is awful over here. Paper straws too. Ugh, I hate paper straws. Paper straws suck. Especially if you're trying to drink anything with any kind of viscosity, like a shake or a Frappuccino or something like that. How the hell do they expect you to drink one of those with a paper straw? And then it gets all soggy to the point where you're freaking like swallowing paper and shit. Like, fuck all that. Like, yeah, I hate paper straws too. I do not like paper straws. Kaylee says, congratulations to him. Yeah, thanks. I'll tell him you said so. Kai says the same thing. Congratulations. Yeah, I will tell him you guys said congratulations. But yeah, we're going to Vegas for his bachelor party. So, hey, December 11th through the 13th, I'm going to be in Vegas if anybody wants to come out. I don't know where you guys live. Kai, you're in California, right? You could probably you could probably, plan a trip to Vegas and come out to meet me. That would be cool. I'd love to meet you. But yeah, we're going to be staying at the Venetian, which is a really, really nice luxury resort in Vegas. We got a nice deal where we sort of bundled the flights and the hotel together. So yeah, I even downloaded one of those like countdown timer apps so that I could just see like how many months and days and hours and minutes are left until I fly out of here on my way to Vegas. And it's funny because I have a countdown timer for my trip to Vegas for my brother's bachelor party, but I don't have a countdown timer for the birth of my second daughter. Although I will say that the birth of my second daughter is unpredictable. I don't know when that's going to be. So, I mean, I could have a countdown timer for when I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be on October 1st, but I don't know. But whereas the trip to Vegas is on the books. There's a specific time where my flight out of here is leaving. I'm going to fly out of here. I'll be flying. It'll be 2 flights. I'm going to fly to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte, I'll be flying to Vegas. And my brother and his friend will be flying from where they live in Florida to Charlotte. So we're going to kind of meet in Charlotte at the Charlotte airport, which is huge. I don't know if anybody's ever been there before. Charlotte airport is massive. And luckily, I was able to get myself on the same plane as them. So we're all 3 going to be on the same plane. I don't think I'm going to be in the same like row as them. Like I probably won't be able to sit with them on the flight, but at least we'll be on the same plane so that I can make sure that we all, get to our hotel and everything okay. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. Vegas is like amazing. It's like one of the best vacation destinations ever. And I've been around, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Costa Rica, I've been all over the Caribbean on cruises, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to the Cayman Islands, I've been to Belize, I've been to a few spots in Mexico, but Vegas was by far the best. And that's saying a lot because like Hawaii, especially in Costa Rica, were amazing. For other reasons, it's kind of not really an apples to apples comparison because like, Hawaii and, Costa Rica, they have like a lot of natural sort of charm to them. Whereas Vegas, it's like, a lot of it's man-made. Although, Vegas does actually have a lot of natural things that are pretty beautiful too. Like some of those Western like landscapes, like the Red Rock National Park and stuff like that. Like Vegas actually has some pretty cool, like, natural wonders going on. So Kai says, hopefully COVID restrictions completely ease out by December. Yeah, I'm hoping. I have a suspicion that, by the time the 2020 presidential election is done and over with, I have a feeling that the COVID restrictions are gonna relax or just completely fall off shortly after that. There's not going to be so much of a political agenda behind restricting things. So I'm just kind of waiting for that to get over with because yeah, the COVID restrictions they're really, really getting on my nerves. They're really getting on my nerves. Luckily I'm in South Carolina. It's not so bad. So, I'm happy to be as free as I am, but yeah, for people who are still locked down, I saw something. It was about like New York City, like they're like on September 30th or like at some point later this month, they're about to literally just start reopening restaurants at 25% capacity in New York City. And it's just like, man, like, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm all for freedom. I'm not for any kind of forced violation of freedom of association. Forced association or forced lack of association is a violation of freedom of association. Kaylee says you'll have to have a second bachelor party in Pittsburgh for that to happen. Yep, unfortunately that won't happen. So, I've only been to Pittsburgh. Like I was just kind of passing through Pittsburgh, or I was passing, I think I don't know where exactly, but it was in like the winter time. It was like the winter of 2017, I want to say. And it was like a really cold winter, and I was driving back from Canada. I drove all the way to Orlando, Florida from Barrie, Ontario, Canada. That was a long drive. But yeah, so I've never actually visited Pittsburgh, but I've kind of sort of through it, and it was really, really cold, snowy, which I'm not used to being a Florida man. So, Kai says I forgot election year too. Yeah, I can't wait for all that crap to be done. I'm just sick of all the politics, man. It's really a pain in the ass. I think honestly, like I think on my Facebook, there's probably like more of my friends that are unfollowed by me. Like I think I've unfollowed like trying to figure out a nice eloquent way to say this, but I think the majority of the people on my friends list on Facebook I have unfollowed. So like my feed doesn't really have a lot of shit in it. It's just a lot of ads and stuff. Kai says, what's the longest you've driven? Yeah, that would be to Canada and back. I drove so I was in Orlando, Florida, and I drove to Roanoke, Virginia to attend a wedding. My wife's cousin was getting married, and then at that point we're like, fuck it, we're already halfway up, let's go see Niagara Falls and shit. So we drove up to Canada from there, and Barrie, Ontario is where we there was this hotel there, this hotel resort there where we stayed. It was in the winter time, and yeah, that was a long drive. I mean, the drive to wasn't so bad because we kind of split it up into into chunks, but the drive back, it was basically like driving for like 24 hours straight, basically like driving for like an entire 24-hour day with just stopping for food and gas. So that was pretty crazy. How to even do it? I mean, did you take turns on the road? We tried to take turns, but like my wife was actually newly pregnant with my first daughter at that time, and driving was really, really difficult for her because she had a lot of bad nausea. So I drove pretty much the whole trip. Like, I mean, the way to, I would say, we split it up. It was like more egalitarian in terms of, splitting it up, taking turns. But the drive back, I drove almost the entire trip back. I mean, I maybe slept for like 3 hours while my wife drove like, for like 3 hours. And then I just, as soon as I got up, I took the wheel and drove again. And yeah, it was crazy. But Achu says, are there some questionable chemicals inside of Coca-Cola? I don't know all of the ingredients. I mean, I know there's like caffeine, and there's another thing called gum arabic, I think. And they obviously have like this secret sort of formula. I mean, questionable or not, I mean, I enjoy it, man. That's one roll of the dice I'm willing to make. I love Coca-Cola. I know I won't be able to drink it forever. I'm 30 years old. I'll be 31 by the end of the year. So I'm going to have to start taking better care of myself and drinking less soda. But until then, I enjoy it. I really do. I have cut back, though, significantly. I have significantly cut back. I don't drink as much as I used to. But as far as addictions go, I would say Coca-Cola is a relatively mild one. There's a lot worse things to be addicted to out there. That's for damn sure. But yeah, so that was the longest distance I've ever driven, all the way to Canada and back. I don't remember how many miles it was, but it was it was a long drive. Kaylee says, I switched to bubbly and it takes the edge off. By bubbly, do you mean champagne? Is that what you mean? You switched to champagne? Or is there actually a drink called bubbly that I've just never heard of? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But in terms of, anything, like I don't drink anything with alcohol in it. So Kaylee says, oh no, it's carbonated water. Oh, okay. So it's like Perrier or like San Pellegrino or something like that. Is that what it is? It's like something sort of like that, like Perrier or San Pellegrino. I don't know. I don't really know my carbonated waters that well. Sorry. Because I know like people do say the word bubbly when they're talking about champagne, right? I didn't just like dream that up, did I? But Kai says right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would enjoy that. It seems like it would be like, it would be more interesting, like more fun to drink, if I could say that, than just regular water. But I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade lately because I've been doing a lot of work outside. So I've just been going through Gatorade like crazy. But I actually just finished my front deck. So I stripped all the old paint off of all the flooring and the railings and stuff like that, and painted everything up again, and it looks really nice. My front deck looks amazing. It looked like shit beforehand, but now it looks pretty good. So, what else do you guys want to talk about? I'm kind of blanking on topics. What have I talked about? I've talked about the rapidly approaching birthday for my second daughter coming up. I talked about, I know I talked about more stuff. I talked about the fact that I'm getting a new grill. And I think that sort of segued into talking about how one time my dog ate a steak off of my wife's plate and drove me crazy. It's the most pissed I've ever been at him. Talked about the fact that I'm going to Vegas on the weekend of December 11th through the 13th. I'll be in Vegas. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. Because like my bachelor party was like, it was pretty good, but it was very low budget, because I was a lot younger. So like, we didn't, a lot of us, like, we didn't really have any kind of money, you know what I mean? So like going out to Vegas for my bachelor party would have been very, very irresponsible. But, I guess that's one advantage of sort of getting married later in life is that, you have more money. So if you want to, you can, you can afford to have like a nicer or more expensive, wedding or more expensive bachelor party and this and that. My brother is not spending a lot of money on his wedding. They're doing something pretty low key. I don't even think they're going to be having an open bar, to be honest, which is kind of lame. Not that I'm a big drinker, but I do understand that, like, when you got like the music going and it's a party, it's like open bar, man, it really kind of lubricates it, it really kind of greases the wheels for, for a nice party atmosphere. So yeah, they're not spending a lot on their wedding, but I still think it's going to be really nice. And obviously, like, stoked for him. He's getting married, I've been married for over 5 years. My younger brother is married. He has a daughter also. So, my younger brother and I have kind of been in the spotlight for a long time. My younger brother was the first to conceive a child. So like basically the timeline was, my wife and I get married. My brother and his, well, not wife at the time, but they quickly got married, conceived a child. And then, their baby came along, and then a couple of months later, our baby came along, and then now our second baby's coming along, and now finally, after years of my younger brother and I being in the spotlight, now it's my older brother's turn. He's been waiting for a very long time. Not that he craves the spotlight or anything like that, but it's like this is his time. So like, definitely really happy for him, which is why I insisted on doing the bachelor party in Vegas, because it's like, you've been waiting a while, like, let's do this, let's do this right. Let's do this properly. So, Kaylee says the most expensive thing about my wedding was the dress. Yeah, I can't remember how much my wife's dress cost. It was a really nice dress, though. I know it wasn't cheap. I think she kept the tag on it and just returned it the next day. I'm just kidding. She didn't do that. Yeah, our wedding, I think, was probably something like $18,000 or something like that. I mean, some people, like parents and stuff like that, chipped in a little bit, but mostly we paid for it ourselves. I think most of our expenses were probably like a combination of like the venue, the catering, and the alcohol, because we had an open bar, and that shit's expensive. So I understand, I could definitely understand why people wouldn't have an open bar. Main Waring says, I built some rockets for my two daughters, used potassium nitrate and sugar solid state fuel. Awesome, man. Awesome. You should send me the recipe for that. I would love to do that with my daughter someday. I seriously, I'm not even kidding. I really, really want the recipe or the instructable on how you do that. So send it to me. That'd be cool. You can get on my Discord, send me a friend invite, send me a DM. You can email me. If you go to my channel page, I think it says, like, for there's a about section of my YouTube channel that has my email on it, so you can contact me through there. That'd be cool. Someone with a name that's really, really hard to pronounce. It looks like almost like hieroglyphics or something. What is that? It says hi. I wish I could call you by your name, but I don't know how to pronounce, squiggly line, circle looking thing, coffee cup sort of thing at the end of it. I don't know how to pronounce that. So hello to you. Mainwaring says it's really easy. Just got to caramelize the mix. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Let me know, like send me a link or send me a message that has like what the proportions are, like how much of potassium nitrate do you put in, how much of sugar do you put in, and all this and that. Like send me the formulation and see if I can do it. It'd be sweet. All right, I'm gonna hit the road and start heading home. So if I cut out a little bit, I apologize, but my wife just texted me like, hey, when are you coming home? So I kind of ignored her, but Mainwaring says I followed a video 6040. Was it a YouTube video? Because if it was, I would love that link. If you got it, I would be forever grateful if you could send it. Send it. You guys ever watch those videos of that guy? I think his name is Larry Enticer. He's this guy who, I think he's in Canada, and he has like a denim jacket and like jeans, and he like has a mullet. His hair is in a mullet, and he drinks a lot of beer, and he rides around on a snowmobile. And his catchphrase is like, just gonna send it. He's like, are you guys silly? Like, I'm still gonna send it. Oh shit. All right. But anyway, yeah, Larry Enticer, look him up. He's funny. Driving around on a snowmobile. If you just type in like just gonna send it, like I think you'll get there. Elmer's Mind Games says, do you have any favorite comedians? Oh yeah, dude, I love comedy. I definitely have some favorite comedians. I would say, are you talking about like stand-up comedians? I think one of my favorite stand-ups has got to be Mitch Hedberg. That guy is so funny. Like all of his like non sequitur jokes and things like that are just, oh my God, he's so funny. Like his joke about, he's like, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. It's just hilarious. I'm trying to think of some of his other bits. I know like it's funny because like if I'm not on stream, like I could think of a million of them, but now that I'm on stream, I'm totally blanking on it. But he had a joke about, what was his joke? Mitch Hedberg. He was talking about, he has one that's like, dogs are always in the push-up position. Oh man, so funny. But yeah, other comedians. I really like Louis C.K. a lot. I know, Louis C.K. has had some behavior that is a little questionable, to put it extremely mildly. But Louis C.K. is hilarious, man. Like his stand-up is just so funny. Really, really funny guy. Another one's Bill Burr. Freaking love Bill Burr. Bill Burr actually has a podcast called the Monday Morning Podcast, which is really, really funny. It's just him monologuing into a microphone, and he is so good. Kaylee says, I like John Mulaney. Yeah, he's funny. I just watched Mark Norman stand up and thought it was great. I'll have to check it out. I don't know who that is. I also like, what's that guy, Tom Segura. He's really funny. I'm trying to think of who else. Man, I know there's some stand-ups that I'm missing, but I mean, there's some like old, all-time greats like like Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy had some really good stand-up back in the day. Rodney Dangerfield was really good. There's a lot of good old ones. I like some of the old ones too. Like they're really funny, especially like I really like the old ones because like like it was just such a simpler time back then, where like nobody, like people weren't as worried about being all PC. Now, I think comedy has kind of, I think comedy isn't really that great anymore in terms of like, I don't know. I don't see a lot of good new comedy out there, like stand-up wise, because like with comedians, I don't know. I think like with like the 2016 presidential election and the elect, you know, Donald Trump being elected president and everything, I think comedians are kind of like put in this sort of tough spot where like they kind of like have to acknowledge it, but then they kind of like, it's hard for them to sort of acknowledge it without taking a stance on it. You know, it's like almost like a large chunk of their audience expects them to kind of join the anti-Trump circle jerk, and many have done just that. They have joined the anti-Trump circle jerk, but then that also sort of alienates another chunk of their audience, you know, who is, you know, supportive or at least like somewhat sympathetic to President Trump. So yeah, I think it's kind of just been really polarized. And I don't think that's good for stand-up. I don't think that's good for stand-up, where you have to like take this side and then you alienate the other half or the other big portion of your audience, you know, who disagrees. I will say this though, there's one stand-up comedian who I really like, but I also think he's like really good in terms of like philosophy and politics, and that's Dave Smith. Check him out, Dave Smith. I mean, he's hilarious, but he also like talks about like how like the national debt is like bullshit, and you know, he's basically like an anarcho-capitalist. Like he's like real anti-government, which I love. Yeah, he's very unique because like most comedians you see nowadays, they're all just like, you know, big government sort of dick riders. And, you know, I can get past that if they make a joke that's unrelated, but, you know, like when Amy Schumer starts talking about how she was joining the John Kavanaugh protest, it's like, okay, turning it off. I'm not going to deal with it. Like I come to comedy to like try to escape politics for the most part. And, you know, when people are just bringing this shit up over and over again, I just tune out. It's the same reason why I've tuned out of professional sports, like the NBA, all their like woke politics and shit. I'm not interested, you know? Like NBA games were, you know, the great thing about an NBA game was I used to be able to watch an NBA game, either going to a game. I used to go to Orlando Magic games all the time when I lived in Orlando, or I could be in a bar, you know, cheering on my team with a complete, you know, stranger, and I don't know what his politics are. He could be like a freaking, you know, commie. He could be like, you know, he could be like 3 steps left of Karl Marx for all I care, but it doesn't matter, because in that moment, you know, we both have this common ground, and we're both, you know, enjoying this game of basketball. You know, we're just kind of escaping the bullshit for a little while. But nope, can't do that anymore. Now every organization has to take a political side on things. And it'd be one thing to take a side on something, you know, and stand up for your cause and this and that. But when that cause is completely propagated on lies and misinformation and half-truths and false narratives, and a complete refusal to think critically or objectively, or to look up any statistics, or to argue with reason and evidence, and an avoidance of answering those tough questions, challenging your narratives, that just makes me respect it that much less. So, yeah, comedy, professional sports, you know, I just like watching the old stuff now, not really too much into the new stuff. Although, you know, there's still some good stuff out there. But yeah, I think comedians are kind of in a tough spot with that whole thing. I don't think the polarization is good for stand-up. Let's see. Elmer's Mind Game says, yeah, comedy's supposed to push boundaries, but today you get punished for it. Yeah, absolutely. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Kaylee says it's really tough to talk about anything publicly. No, it's not. Look at what I'm doing. I'm talking about shit publicly. I know I have a tiny audience, and I can say whatever I want because nobody really gives a shit because very few people are watching. But no, I think when you like, I think in the short term, like, you might catch some flack for saying something like honest or just not giving a fuck, but in the short term. But I think in the long term, people will like respect you more if you don't sell out, if you actually stick to your guns and just, speak the truth. Neil Mini, Ekanayaki, Neil Mini Ekanayaki, sorry, I know I pronounced that wrong, says, hi, hello. I'll just call you NE. Those are your initials. NE. Hello, NE. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing extremely well. I hope everybody in this stream is doing well. I love you guys. You guys are my homies. There's a word I hadn't used in a while. Homie. Yeah. Bringing it back. Do people still even say homie anymore? I don't know. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I'm about maybe 3 minutes away from my house, so I'm probably going to wrap it up pretty soon. My wife messaged me over 2 different mediums. She texted me and she Facebook messaged me saying, hey, so are you going to get off early this, blah, 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 like you said? So I'm like, shit, like I got to get home. But anything else you guys want to talk about, I'd be happy to talk about it. And he says, hello, I'm from Sri Lanka. We learned a lot from your channel. Oh, well, hello right back at you from the United States of America. Thank you very much. I've never met any Sri Lankans before, so you would be the first. So it's a pleasure and an honor to have you in my stream. Thank you so much. Glad to hear that you use the word we. I'm assuming that means you and other people. So to all of you, I say thank you for watching my content, and I am so happy that it has been helpful for you. Really, really am. Super, super happy to be able to help. Because it's funny because my wife, she has her own business now. She's doing like training and consulting and things like that. And, she makes pretty good money from her webinars. She'll have like a video call where she's doing this webinar and going through, slides and stuff like that and having these like workbooks and packets and things like that. And people pay for it. And she tells me like, like this stuff that you're giving away for free, like you could make some decent money, selling, what you're doing, but instead you're giving it away for free. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just, I do get ad revenue, which is not much at all, but it's still something. And I don't know. I don't know. I do this as a hobby. Like, I don't know if I could turn it into my livelihood, I think that'd be cool in some ways, but in other ways, it's like, I'm happy just to be able to like give it away for free and just have free content, or just, if anybody asks me a question in Discord, they need help with something, I'm happy to like get on a call with them and help. So if you guys ever need any help with anything and you want to hop on a Discord call with me, please feel free to join my server. If you go on my main YouTube channel page, the top of that page has a channel banner, and on the bottom right hand corner of that channel banner are links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. My Facebook, Instagram, and Discord my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have a very, very tiny amount of followers. So any love you can show to those profiles, I would sure appreciate it. But the Discord, though, I think is really important because I can actually communicate with people directly. I can video call, like I can call people can call me. Like, I think that has the most potential of being like the most effective platform to communicate with my audience. People have been asked, like somebody asked me a question on Discord somewhat recently. I haven't gotten around to answering it yet. So whoever that person is, if you happen to be watching this, I apologize for the delay. I've just been really, really swamped and busy, but I will get to your question as soon as I can. So if you message me in Discord and I don't respond right away, or it takes a little while, I do apologize, but I am reading things, and I do plan on responding to them whenever I can. Kaylee says, any advice on how to get other students to agree to study with me via Zoom? My emails keep getting ignored, and it's my first semester at this new school. getting other students to study with you, I would just abandon. I mean, if they're not interested, and I would just abandon the idea. I wouldn't try, because you're not you're not in the you're not a high school teacher. You're not in the business of like motivating kids. You know, these are people, if they don't want to study with you, if they don't understand the benefit of studying in a group, then, you know, it's not your job to motivate them. Your job is to boost yourself up as much as possible. Your job is to outperform them, really. Um, so I understand, like, not having the opportunity to study in a group kind of sucks if you want to, or if you think it would help you. And I do understand there's value in group studying and things like that. But trying to convince them that it's important, or trying to get them to agree to it, I mean, I just think that's beating a dead horse. Like, I think you're better off just kind of focusing on what is actually in your control. Um, and most of my studying I did alone. I mean, so I think you'd be okay just studying on your own. And then, you know, if you do find someone who's interested, then, you know, that'll be your study buddy. But yeah, trying to like coordinate a meeting with like multiple people, like especially like more than two people, like that just sounds like a big headache. Like, it's just like, you don't need all that. At least that's my opinion on it. So yeah, I would probably just abandon the idea. Let's see. Annie says, yes, my university friends used to watch your videos. Very cool. Awesome. Thanks. And you know, tell all of them that I said thank you very much for their time in watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Main Wearing says, stay cool, stay safe, enjoy the experience, and de-stress. Thank you. I will definitely take you up on that, and I will certainly find a way to de-stress, hard as it may be at this time of my life. Thank you. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. Thank you guys. This has been a fun stream. I'll try to get one, you know, around hopefully around the same time next week, you know, in the afternoon, something like that. But so if you guys are interested, you can join me in a week. Other than that, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on some of the other social media platforms. As I mentioned earlier, I do have Facebook, I do have Instagram, I do have Twitter, and I do have a Discord. You can find the links for all four of those on my main channel page in the bottom right-hand corner of the channel banner, which sits on the top of my page. I would love your support, and thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. All right, that's it. Y'all take care. Peace.